Hi everyone. So thank you for joining today. My name is Sarah. I'm Employee Support Manager. And joining me today in this webinar will be Sabrina Joseph, who is Employee Support Supervisor, and Second Supervisor Luke Trower. So Sabrina will be carrying out the webinar for today, and Luke will also contribute towards the end if you guys have any questions. So the format of the webinar will be Sabrina will go through the webinar slides, and then we'll go through questions at the end of the webinar. So if you do have any questions, please can you save them till the end of the webinar. We do have a Q&A function on the webinar, so please ensure that you are using that. And at the end of the webinar, once we've completed all the questions and answers, there is a survey. Apologies if you can hear my cat. There is a survey at the end of the webinar that we would be very grateful if you completed. Your feedback is really important to us, and it does ensure that we can try and make these webinars as informative and beneficial to you guys, really. So if there's anything that you want us to include in the webinars, if there's anything you want us to change in the webinars at all, please can you add that to the survey at the end. So yeah, I'll pass on to Sabrina. Thanks.
Thanks, Laura. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. So I'll be going through an introduction to working with Giant. So here's an overview of what we'll be going through. So it will be about how it all works, getting paid through Giant, your pay slips explained. So we'll show you what it would display, your holiday payment through Giant and how to enter these in your portal, pension payment, so how to opt in and opt out. You've got the tax code, so entering a P45 of us or a P46, how to request a reference, also what our Giant Advantage scheme is all about, and lastly, how to contact us. So as you can see from this diagram, it will be the client site that you'll be working at. So AMS are responsible for finding your temporary role. It will then be Giant who will manage to contract the services and pay you. You will be paid on a weekly basis via BACS payment. Now, this is all depending on if your timesheets have been submitted and authorized on time. Also, these payments, they are subject to payment terms and they are agreed by AMS. So for example, you've got week ending the 25th of October. That will be received and sent to payroll on the 28th of October. And then that will clear into your bank account on the 30th of October. Funds will then be available in your bank account. So that will be in the morning of the day that you're due to receive funds. You can also have SMS Paywall Alerts, and these are quite good because it would advise you of the amount that you're due to be paid before it actually reaches your account. A payslip will be made to you on your portal the day before you're due to receive funds. The payslip just details your gross pay, so that's just before deductions. Your deductions such as tax and national insurance, and then your net pay, which is just after deductions. It will detail the pay rate and the number of accrued hours, and then any deductions for tax and NI to how we're reaching your net pay. So you will have a minimum entitlement of 28 days per year, including the bank holidays and public holidays. So AMS will advise you of your annual leave entitlement, and your holiday pay will accrue for when you take time off. Now, how it works is you have the holiday year, which starts from the 1st of January until the 31st of December, and holiday must be taken within that period. So whatever you accrue in that year must be taken in that year. So any unused holiday, we can't carry it over to a new year. If you take more than your entitlement, then it will just go as unpaid. You can check on your payslip for your current available holiday pay balance. So if your line manager has accrued more leave than you've actually accrued, the difference will just be unpaid. So we will let you know the maximum that we can process to you. And then once you have accrued enough holiday pay to cover the period of leave, you can just enter that via your employee portal. So when you are on the employee portal, in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a button that says Request Holiday Pay. This is for you to enter it via the self-serve function of the portal. So the first step that you will take once you're on the correct page is to select the current assignment, so the correct assignment you're on. You'll ensure that you've got the correct period ending date, and then 1 unit would equal 1 hour. So for example, if you just want to enter 1 day of holiday, you just need to enter 8 hours. You'll then see a total amount in the 2 boxes with the arrow points. Once you're happy with all the information that's entered, you then submit your holiday. So after 90 days, we will automatically enroll you into the workplace pension with Nest. You will contribute 5% of principal earnings, and Giant will then contribute a further 3%. Once you are enrolled, you can opt out. So you're not obliged to stay with Nest. You can opt out directly with Nest. So you will need to opt out once you have received your welcome pack though. I would advise doing it, soon as, because if you opt out after the 28-day period, you won't get a refund on what's being deducted, but you can still see your contributions going forward. You can opt in early with Nest as well. You just got to let us know via your feedback portal, and we can get this done. As I know some of you may already be opted in already. We currently only process pension contributions from Nest via Nest. So when you first join Giant, your tax code is determined by the P45 that you provide to us, or a new starter statement. So that's known as a P46. After your first couple of payrolls, HMRC will issue a P6 form to us. That just informs us if your tax code needs updating, and then you'll just see your tax code change on your payslip in the next payroll. If a refund is due to you for tax, the payments are made by Giant. It will just be calculated and displayed on your payslip in the next paid. If you feel like your tax code is still incorrect after having a few payrolls with us, you can contact HMRC directly. Unfortunately, Giant are unable to speak to HMRC on your behalf regarding your personal records. So for references, send us a message via your feedback section on the portal, or you can ask a company who require a reference to send an email to firstlinesupport@giantgroup.com. Just ensure the appropriate written permissions have been provided, and then we can get that over to them within 24 hours. So our Giant Advantage scheme is available. It's a cashback and reward scheme. The scheme is honoured by the Benefits Excellence Awards and includes discounted holidays and shopping vouchers. So you can sign up directly through your portal, or you can do this over the phone with the Giant Advantage help desk. When contacting us at Giant, you can use your feedback portal. So I know I've mentioned this a couple of times through the slides, but if you go to the top left-hand side of the portal and click the drop down, you can select add feedback, where you can create a subject and a message. So very similar to creating an email, and you can just send across to us. We also have the live chat function, which is really, really easy. Just for those that are always on the go, don't have time to create a full-on email. The live chat response time is actually 12 seconds. So it's a lot more easier, and that's also available to you. So just a summary of what I've discussed with you all. So we've discussed that it will be a contract for services with Giant. Weekly payments will be made to you subject to the payment terms. You can set up SMS Paywall Alerts to know what you'll be getting paid. Payslips do become available on your portal, and it displays the gross and net values as well as any deductions such as NI and tax. You do get 28-day minimum holiday entitlement, and that the holiday year runs from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. Your holiday must be taken within the year that it accrued in. And we also showed you how to request this via your feedback portal. We went through how pension works with Nest, so opting in and opting out, and also opting in early. Also the tax code, so when you send in a P45 or a P46, you can also get your tax code updated when HMRC send Giant a P6 form. Also how to request a reference via your feedback portal, and the Giant Advantage scheme, so you know how you can opt in via your Giant portal or calling into them. And lastly, contacting us via your feedback function in the portal or using the live chat. So thank you guys for listening to this webinar. If you do have any questions, please use the question and answer feature in the chat. And don't forget to, submit the survey into us. We'll really appreciate that. Thank you.
So we have our first question from Anthony. So he's asked, is it possible to be paid for holidays not used but accrued? So in order to be paid for holiday, you must be on holiday, so you must take your annual leave in order to be paid for it. However, if your assignment and your agreement with Giant does end before the end of the holiday year, and you do have any outstanding holiday in your holiday pot, then that can be paid out to you when we process your P45. However, please note it has to be within that holiday year. So if your assignment and your agreement ends within the same holiday year and you have any outstanding money in your pot, then that can be paid out along with your P45. But other than that, in order to be paid for your annual leave, you must take the annual leave. Angela has asked, I already have an S pension. Will you add to that, or will you open a new account? Yes, so you don't have to create a new Nest account. It will just automatically add to that one. So can I only take holiday when it appears on my payslip? I'm thinking of taking 30 days. So actually having the annual leave approved and being on annual leave doesn't always correlate to being paid for it. So as Sabrina did mention, if your manager does approve more annual leave than you've actually accrued, that's absolutely fine. However, we can only pay out what is in your holiday pot. So if you don't have 30 days worth of holiday in your holiday pot, we'll pay out the maximum amount available to you. And then as you start to accrue more each week or month as you're paid, you can then request for the rest of it to be paid out to you for that period where you were off. So will you automatically send me my P45 at the end of my contract? Yes, but as you are on a contract for services, we do have a leavers process. So as soon as AMS send across a termination notification for yourself, our contracts team will start the leavers process. So that will mean we first have to wait for all outstanding payments to be paid out to you. And then we will start to issue your P45. Okay, so holiday pay, if I've accrued £2,000, does that mean at the end of my contract I can simply take the money? So of course, for your own well-being, we do always recommend that you take your annual leave. However, like I mentioned, if your assignment does go into the new year, you are unable to carry over any holiday pay. So if your assignment ends within the holiday year, and we issue your P45 within the holiday year, then whatever is in your holiday pot that has been accrued for that year only can be paid out to you. So for example, if your assignment ends in January, but you have £2,000 from the previous year, that would have already cleared down in December. So you would only have the amount in your holiday pot that would accrue in January paid out to you. But of course, like I said, please do take your annual leave. It is very important that you do take breaks. And generally, when you do take annual leave, that's when we'll pay you for it. So Gareth, yeah, you will need to wait until the money has been accrued in your pot to be paid out. So as mentioned, if you don't have enough for 30 days in your pot, we can only pay out to you what has been accrued in that pot. So if you've only, let's say, got 15 days accrued in the pot, we can pay out the 15 days. However, you have to wait until more accrues into your pot each week as you're paid, and then wait until another, let's say, another 15 days has accrued for you to take the full 30 days. So someone's asked, what if your assignment ends in December? It completely depends on when. So for example, if your assignment ends in the last week of December, you will still need to have another payment, which means just because your assignment has ended, it doesn't mean your agreement with Giant has ended, because you'll still need to be in contract with us for us to pay you. So if that means you are paid in January, you will need to ensure that that leave has been taken. So just to be clear, the holiday year runs from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. Once it hits the 31st of December, that holiday pot you are unable to carry over. So you have to ensure that you do take the annual leave in your pot. If your last payment did fall within December and your P45 is issued in December, then if you do have any outstanding holiday in your holiday pot, then that will be paid out to you. Sorry, Gareth. Yeah, so you will accrue holiday as you're paid. So if there are 30-day payment terms, then you'll only accrue that money once you have been paid and you have your pay slip. So in terms of, so Andrina, just so you know, it depends, it completely depends on the end of your assignment. When will your assignment end and when is your last payment? So as long as your last payment is within that year, the holiday year, then that's absolutely fine. But if your assignment ends at the end of December, that technically means that you will still have a last payment, which will either be a week in arrears or 30 days, depending on your payment terms. If that last payment then falls within the next holiday year, then unfortunately, if you did have any holiday accrued in the previous year, that would not be paid out because it wouldn't have been carried over. So please make sure that everyone does take their annual leave. It is really important. Again, throughout the year, it is important to take breaks for everyone's well-being. We do encourage it, so please ensure that you are requesting the holiday pay when you do have annual leave booked. Gareth, no. So if you are, let's say, on 30-day payment terms and you are being paid for money in January for work you did in December, you won't lose it. So it basically means that whenever you are paid, it will go towards that year's holiday entitlement. So if you were paid in January for December, the holiday that was accrued for the payment made in January will go towards the New Year's holiday pot. So Keith, you've mentioned you have 25 units of holiday accrued. Yes, so that basically means that you technically have 25 hours worth of holiday. So yeah, if you are on an hourly rate and you work 7 hours a day, then you can put it in that way. If you are on a daily rate, your holiday is calculated at 8 hours. So just make sure you put 8 units in there. Sorry, Christine, I didn't see your query in the chat. Yes, so the webinar is recorded and it will be sent out to you all after the webinar has ended. So Anthony, in terms of ending the assignment, of course, we can't stop you from carrying out the whole assignment. However, we would need a termination notification from AMS in order to start the leavers process. So you would need to have that communication with AMS first, and we will only action off the back of what they send us. So once we have that termination notification, then we can start the leavers process. So I think that's it for questions. If you do have any further questions, it's not to worry. If you just either drop us, a message via the feedback portal or through live chat, and we're more than happy to answer them. So once the webinar has ended, please do remember to complete the survey. It would mean a lot to us. It will just mean that, the next time we do these webinars, they are a lot more informative. They will answer any questions that you need. And it does mean that, hopefully, you won't need to contact us via your portal. If this webinar does help, most of your questions would have already been answered and it will just save you a lot of time. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Again, if you do have any questions, please just drop us a message via your portal, and please do complete the webinar. Sorry, not the webinar, the survey at the end of this webinar. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.